Hi everyone, my name is Jen and I am the founder of Always and Forever, and this is our nightly Operation Be Brave check-in. And I've got my crew with me here. I've got Adoptable Lucy, her brother Louie, I've got Hippopotamus Z over on my side here with the big belly, and an alumni Lena over here. So wanted to jump on and wish you guys a happy Thursday evening. Thanks for following us. Thanks for praying for all of our animals in our care. Thank you for believing in our mission, and thank you truly for believing that all souls deserve to know love. And in a week, guys, it was literally 8 days ago. 8 days ago, Mikhail had his surgery, and it was 10 days ago we were debating whether or not we should even try to save him, because forget the money. We all know what one night at an emergency vet costs, and the continuous care after the fact of additional surgeries, additional medicines. But we never take that into account when we come to an evaluation of what's the best thing to do for an animal, especially if the animal is suffering. So I can't even tell you the number of hours that we were talking to the med team, talking to different vets, trying to find the right surgeon that could even potentially help try to save him. And that truly was the defining factor of, guys, Mikhail is only 2 years old, and this is a dog that literally looked like death when we saw him. Just a bag of bones. I don't even know how to describe it. My entire SUV, when we went and picked him up, it smelled like death. It felt like death. And we played classical music while we were driving, and Beth had her hands on him the whole time. And I wrote a long post about this, but ultimately on the way there, it truly is about, it felt like time stood still, and it should have felt like hours. It was hours, but it was a time where we had made the decision to go all in, and we just put our faith in God that if it was meant to be, it would be, but we had to try. And especially for a soul that so many other people just left suffering. So to believe that every life has value and every soul deserves to know love, even if he died in my car on the way there, it was a risk I was willing to take so that he knew someone loved him and that someone was fighting for him. And that's just a little bit of the behind the scenes stuff. And if you followed his story from last Monday, I guarantee your emotions were all over the place. The worry, the praying, the anxiety. Would he survive the surgery? What about after the surgery? Then what? Surviving the night, waiting for the morning post, waiting for the night post. It really, really was minute by minute with him. And I think it was Saturday, and it's like we saw one video where he was lifting his head up or looking or something. And I don't know about you guys, but I literally took like the deepest inhale and exhale. And it was like, okay, we're doing this. He's fighting. He's not giving up. I think it was Saturday when I just said, God, you've had this the whole damn time. I don't know why I didn't trust you, and I should have. And we had faith and we prayed, and it's okay to doubt, but to keep your focus on faith and to keep your focus on prayer. That's what every single one of us did. And to watch the comments that were just filled with so much love, so much love. So even on the days when I was the most worried, I would jump on and I would read your thoughts, and I would listen to your heart, and I would take all of the faith that you guys poured out into him, and I would pour it into my heart too, because guys, this is a journey. And the emotional toll it takes on everyone on my incredible team, as well as you guys. How do you not fall madly in love with this dog someone else deemed garbage and just looked past and didn't even care that they were suffering. He was suffering. And yet we look at him and we see a warrior. We see a soul that literally refuses to give up. And when he looks in your eyes, and this is where, when he went back to the ICU, the one day I got to hang out with him at Julie's, he just brings you peace, because no matter what he went through, all he does is look at you and you just feel gratitude. And we didn't even do anything. We aren't the ones that hurt him. Obviously, he could hold this grudge. He could hate humans. And we put him through a surgery that has caused him pain. Could you just imagine somebody inside your stomach moving things around and removing things, and then putting a feeding tube in your neck, having a slit all the way down your chest to basically your groin, and then having an abdominal drain that's leaking out your fluids so that you don't get infected. He's on steroids. He has every reason in the world to not want anything to do with us. And yet Mikhail looks at us with love. And that's why even on the hardest days, even when I'm completely exhausted, behind on everything that I'm supposed to do for everyone, I can jump on here and say thank you. And I know every single moment that I have the privilege to be exhausted, I am blessed with every animal that comes into our care's love. So thank you for believing that this crazy journey is worth it. It really is. And we are never going to please everyone. We might not win every battle, but every time we need to speak up and use our voice to stand up for what is right, for the animals that don't have a voice, that need us to not forget. It's one thing with the momentum of seeing a dog suffer, knowing they're in a kill shelter, praying and rallying for every single fiber in his being to hold on, and literally witnessing the miracle that God is creating. But we can't forget the purpose of why he went through that. Why did he do that? Maybe that's to show what's going on behind closed doors, what other animals are going through that don't make it to always and forever, that suffer and die silently. Guys, October 18th in Wichita, we will be walking to City Hall and placing 1,500 collars on City Hall step at 2 p.m. The walk will begin. So if you can take off work that day, if you can drive into town, I'm not even from Wichita, we're 3 hours away. Think about that. They probably think I'm insane because there are shelters everywhere that need animals to be saved. But Wichita had a rescue in there for 9 years that did everything to save all the lives Kansas Humane Society didn't want, and all the lives Wichita Animal Shelter were going to euthanize. But Beauties and the Beast stepped in there and they took photos, they promoted, they networked, and there was a youth rate between 2 and 4% for almost a decade when other rescues were in there. We cannot lose sight of the suffering that Mikhail endured. And Dwight, look up Dwight's story too. We have to be the voice of the animals that we don't see, that suffer and die in silence. And 1,500 animals have been euthanized at Wichita Animal Shelter in 2024 alone, without rescues in there. And rescues can't go in there unless they sign an agreement by Kansas Humane Society. They can go in there. They can go in there if they sign the Wichita Animal Shelter agreement. So I apologize, I stated that incorrectly. We could go in there, but we cannot pull, tag, or ultimately transfer and save a life unless we sign an agreement with the Kansas Humane Society that says we will not go on social media or anywhere and say anything derogatory about Kansas Humane Society or Wichita Animal Shelter, or state that either is a kill shelter, which they are, or any of our followers say anything derogatory about either organization. And that blocks us from saving a life. You tell me whose mission you support. You tell me whose best interest is in saving lives. Come at me all you want. Hate me, judge me. I don't care. I know what I think of me, and I know what God thinks of me, and I know what this rescue stands for. Look at the leaders of a nonprofit organization that takes your donations, Kansas Humane Society. Look at the leaders in Wichita Animal Shelter, the police department, lieutenants, whoever they are. Look at them. Did they go to the police academy to run a rescue, to run a shelter? Or did they go there to be a police officer? Tell me how that makes sense. Back in October, we put our faith and our trust in the city when they put out a request for a proposal, an RFP, where they were asking for responses from rescues or shelters to take over the shelter and run. Now, in an RFP process, there's basically, you're not allowed to talk to any city officials or anyone who might have an influence with making that decision. So what happened? In October of 2023, Kansas Humane Society came out with this agreement that says rescues can't go in there unless they sign this essentially gag order or telling you that you have to be silent or you can't save a life. So Kansas Humane Society kicked us out. The city of Wichita put out an RFP, a request for proposal, where it said it gave everybody hope. Everybody hope, thinking that, okay, a rescue will go in there. I don't care if it's Always and Furever. I don't care if it's Beauty and the Beast. Honestly, I don't even care if it would have been Kansas Humane Society, because they would have had a contractual obligation to care for the animals that they put in their proposal, and they would be held accountable. Right now, no one is being held accountable. Animals are dying. Animals are suffering, and nothing is changing. October 18th, please come. Please place one collar, please place 2 collars. Hold one collar in your hand. I don't have collars on my dogs, but imagine Lucy has a collar on her neck right now. And I took that collar off Lucy, and somebody else put a catch pole around her and drug her down a hall. Now Lucy gets a little nervous around, well, actually not Lucy, Louie gets nervous around new people, but she's his sister, so let's just go with Lucy because she's right here. A catch pole around this dog, drugged to where she's kicking, screaming, and defecating herself, to where there's a struggle and there's feces everywhere. And there's someone that took pictures of the struggle of a dog just about Lucy's size that was being euthanized because she was deemed dangerous and scared at 1 year old. Now, it was not Lucy, but this is a true story where we have pictures from the witness inside that obviously remains anonymous since rescues can't be in there, of the struggle. There are horror stories of what goes on behind closed doors in your taxpayer-funded shelter. Open the doors. Let us in. Let us help. The only way change will ever come is if rescues work together with the city. And damn it, open that RFP back up. Let the best place win. Our proposal, it's out there. Go to alwaysandforever.org. Click on Wichita. Read about how we'd run that shelter. Read about how there would be continuous eyes on the animals, how there would be vet techs in there, how we would take safety measures, the medical measures. Read about the love. Read about the simple act of kindness to where we value each one as a soul and we name them versus giving them a number and them dying with just a number. Now, we're not saying that we could save them all. We understand deemed dangerous. We understand space. We get it. But we will do everything in our power so that not one animal dies without someone trying to save them. Let rescues in. Let's work together. I can't even imagine how hard it is to run a city. Okay, I'm just a lawyer. I do asset management work. It's very not exciting stuff, but to be on the political side, to have a million things to do, and then to have rescues constantly, demanding that your shelter be better, just let us do it. Like, we're not saying you should do it better. Let us help you. Take us up on every single thing we've ever said and hold us accountable. We've got broad shoulders. We've got an army of people that support us, and that's you, and that's me. And I would literally move to Wichita. I offered that. I said, I'll move there every day. I will show someone how to do it. I know if we were let in, I would be side by side with at least 50 people in 10 minutes, because I know the hearts of our followers and our volunteers, and I know the people in Beauties and Beasts, their heart and their soul is still in Wichita Animal Shelter. And they have so much love to give, and they have poured their souls into every animal in there. Let them back in. Forget the past. Focus on today. Stop killing animals there without letting us try to help. No more Dwights, no more McHale's, and no more silence. So that's the update I have on that. McHale is doing great. He is, guys, he is everything. He is hope, he is love, he's unconditional love and forgiveness. And God is all around him, and he's all around us, and his life has a higher purpose. And I know it, and I feel it, and we cannot be silent anymore. We can't. Why stop people from talking about things? If you don't want them to talk about things, then don't have things for them to talk about that you take personal offense to. Because what do? If I take personal offense to something, it's because I'm insecure about it. It is very hard to get me offended about Always and Forever. Now, I will defend it to my dying breath, because I love this organization, and I love the people, and I love the movement, and I believe in everything we do. And sometimes it's not for everyone, but to the people that have this faith and this belief and this passion and purpose, to where every single day we strive to be better than we were yesterday, to build a better tomorrow for generations to come. It is not about right now only. Of course it is, with love and caring for all of the animals, but it's about showing that shelters can be more. People can do more. We accept the unacceptable, and then we call it fine. Just because that's the way it's always been done doesn't mean it's right. Your voice matters. If you've written one email, you guys, don't stop. Once a week, write an email once a week. But the one thing I will say, please, always, always, always write with love. Hate begets hate. Anger begets anger. Love begets love. What you put out will always come back to you. It's not blaming. It's not shaming. It's holding people accountable. Because I can't even bear the thought of one of my animals being dragged down a hall. And Z came from Kansas Humane Society, and every single rescue in my house. Bianca, my cat, I do not know how she got out of Wichita Animal Shelter alive. That is the sassiest ass cat in this world, the meanest animal on this farm. So she is my attack dog, is the cat in my house. So every life has value. And I know I'm preaching to the choir on this one, but if you're drawn to our page, if you love our mission, no matter where you are in this world, write a letter with love and share your heart. Because even if they don't read it, you have shared their story. You have been their voice. And your voice matters. So, hey guys, I'm gonna go. She just misunderstood. I have no idea what that was. It's really hard to read the comments. I can see them, but it's late at night. My eyes are kind of tired. And it's been a very long day. Yes, Z is snoring next to me. A couple other things, because I know there's so many things with Always and Forever. And here's the thing, you guys. Not every rescue has the ability to focus on changing a city and changing regulations. There's some really, in my opinion, quite terrible proposed regulations for the Kansas Department of Agriculture, where the transfer of contagious dogs and cats with shots that have to be done, and ultimately it's basically a death sentence for dogs with parvo and kennel cough, because they can't transfer from a shelter to a rescue or a shelter to another shelter unless they go to vet care, unless they've been in holding for 30 days and had the shot and they're clear. Honestly, all of it, in my opinion, is madness. So I've got to write a response to everything and propose, you know, why it doesn't necessarily benefit the animals and why there are other ways and precautions to protect against contagious diseases while at the same time still save lives, because ultimately that should be the purpose too. It should be saving lives safely with quarantines, with policies and procedures. But again, you don't have rescues and shelters that can devote their time to that, because they're busy saving the lives of all the animals and taking care of all the animals in their care. But that is just one more thing that's on my list for, got a draft going on that. I should finish that up tomorrow. Got our art show tomorrow. It's our very first art show. Huge thank you to everybody that donated special art. Jet and Grandpa, just awesome. Oh, TK's piece. Guys, TK's piece is really, really beautiful. One of our incredible followers suggested that somebody donate, probably, I think it's worth at least $2,500. But if you want to buy it for $2,500 outright, we will close the bid right now, and then you can donate it back to Always and Forever, and selfishly I can see it every day, and we can put it up in our Always and Forever Homestead East. So I'm going to throw that out there. If there's anybody out there whose heart is called to purchase that, donate it, and then donate it back. I just adore that guy too. He's another beautiful example of a soul that so many others gave up on. And we saw his worth, we felt his love, and we fought for him. Very, very similar to Copper. Another one just about everyone said give up on, and he's got a small world, but his little world is filled with love, and no matter how many people love you, it's about the connection. It's about knowing that there's value in every soul. And sometimes you do have to let dogs go, because there are demons that we can't cure and that we can't help. And I wish there were, I said this all the time, and this is kind of what I share with anyone. We went to a really, really reputable, I admire them, shelter, and you know, we sat with them for hours, a couple days actually, because they have a lot of really great practices. But when we talked about the dogs that have behavioral issues, every single one of us left and we thought, wow, they really look for a reason to put a dog to sleep. And I came back here and I'm like, I think I'm most proud of Always and Forever, because we look for a reason to save a life. And sometimes that means that we change for the animal, to protect the animal. Sometimes that means that animal stays with us forever, but it's about looking at the totality of the circumstances and saying, this soul matters. And whatever we can do to help him or her, we're going to. So, what else we got? Oh gosh, we got a double your donation match for September with Osawatomie, guys. We have a long way to go with that. And literally, we take care of the animals for the city of Osawatomie for free. And this is a city that doesn't have a lot of funds. And we've been through ups and downs with them. But truly, it is just about doing whatever we can to help those animals in need. And there's not enough space there. There's not enough space everywhere. So somebody's always going to be mad at us. Somebody's always going to be happy. But I promise from the bottom of my heart, we do everything we can to help every single animal possible. I love, love, love what Kelly Fry and Craig do. And I don't think many of you guys know what they do. And it's incredible. We kind of stole the idea from Beauties, and I'm a big believer in don't recreate the wheel, because if someone's doing something great, copy them, model it, find the people that are great, learn from it, and then share it with others. That's how we build leaders, and that's how we help each other learn and grow and continue to learn and grow. So Kelly, anytime an animal is in need, and here's one thing that a lot of people do, they tag me on a Facebook post where they send me an attachment and say, Jen, can you save this animal? And everything in my heart screams, yes, I want to. I have no space. So I say, Kelly, can you save this animal? And she says, yes, we want to. We have no space. Because where are you going to put an animal? And one thing that we will never do is sacrifice the quality of life of an animal in our care to save another. And that's very, very important, because a lot of rescues do that. But that's where you get in the slippery slope of, you have, and I've seen this, you have 50 kennels stacked in someone's garage in the I'm saving a life type situation, where they stack them and then they wait for someone else to care for them and love them, and then you take away the present. You take away the now, because right now you're the only human being of love that they get to know. And if you just throw them in a kennel and you wait for someone else to love them, and you never walk them, you never care for them, you don't teach them how to trust or be a dog or know what it's like to feel the sun and the grass or walk on a leash, then are you really saving a life? Are you just kind of like a broker? You know, you're the in-between person. And that's not us. So ultimately what Kelly does, if there's an animal in need, and Beth does this too with the cats too, Greta as well, they're phenomenal behind the scenes. If there's an animal in need, they network with other rescues. They reach out to the rescue and say, hey, I got an old dog here, I got a beagle here, I know you're a beagle rescue, a good boxer, I got Littles here, because Littles, amazing foster-based rescues with Littles. So it's not about how many Always and Forever saves. We don't even count that with the thousands that they help. And then Craig arranges rides for other rescues. Not even to do with Always and Forever, not even what the ones that Kelly placed. There are rescues that reach out to Craig and they say, hey, we need a ride from here to here, can you help? That is how amazing the people behind the scenes at Always and Forever are. Same thing with the cats too, because it's not about our name. It's not about getting any donations for that. The thousands of animals they have helped. You guys don't see that. That is all the behind the scenes stuff. And then the phenomenal freedom drivers that just drop everything. You guys are amazing. I remember saying, gosh, I think it was a couple years ago, someone saying, no, nobody will do that for free. Nobody will volunteer. You're gonna have to pay them all. And I'm like, wait, look what we've done. We have drawn people together that have the ability to do each of these amazing little things. You find your own niche, you find where your heart is, and good attracts good. And that's what it is. So if you're going to give your heart, if you're going to give your hard-earned donations from what you do every day, make sure you know the organization. Know the leaders. Know what their values are. Know what they do behind closed doors. And know what they accept behind others' closed doors. Because acceptance and silence are not okay. Not when an animal is suffering, and not when it means you could save a life. So, it's Thursday, it's late. I probably have said the same stuff over and over, but we do have our double your donation match for September. Guys, our normal medical expenses can be between $40,000 and $60,000 a month. And this month we have the opportunity to if we raise $50,000, dollar for dollar it will be matched, going towards the renovation of Osawatomie shelter. They don't even have a bathroom there, and they go every single day to work with joy and love in their heart, and they have never once complained. I don't know about you, but those are the people that I want to invest in. And this is your opportunity to make the most of whatever donation you have. Oh, here's the coolest thing. Had to share this because somebody brought this up. We had a monthly donor sign up from Estonia today. I think we got that right. I don't know who's on here watching this that saw it. A $3.42 monthly donation. Guys, the average annual income there is $12,000 a year for family. And that was in 2022. So think about how big that donation was and how valued that is. That is incredible. That is the reach of Always and Forever. That is your heart, and that is my heart across the world, making a difference. So to that donation, to your donation, to my donations, to everybody that gives their heart, their time, their love, and their prayers, thank you. For Mikhail, for Dwight, for Z, for Lucy, for Louie, and for Lena. Thank you guys. I hope you have a beautiful evening, and there is always something to be grateful for, even on the hardest days. Oh, God's always with us, and God's always guiding us, even when we don't know where we're going, which feels like a lot of times, because in my mind I feel like we should be going here, and he goes left, right, left, right, left, right, up, down, all over the place, and I'm still going, why the heck aren't we over here? Or why aren't we up here? And so it's just incredible, and you guys are amazing. So have a wonderful night. Thank you guys for joining.